Hello there again. I'm just back with a few more pickups for the PlayStation 2 that I've got from CEX, and this time, I don't know if you can see it well on the screen, but a lot of them are in absolutely gross condition, so I'm going to have to do a little bit more cleaning up than usual. And in fact, I've already ripped the games and discovered that while it works, look at those rings on Freedom Fighters. I mean, if you look, the underside is fine, but the label, someone's clearly taken something to it or put it through the polishing machine and had it scratch something, so that's terrible. Luckily I've ripped it and so I know the disc works, but considering the outer condition of everything as well, possibly, no, even Orphan is in pretty dirty condition. So let's have at these and try and, you know, clean them up a bit, because I don't want them going in my collection if they're so filthy. Right, let's start by taking all of the stickers off. This is a glass tabletop, so if I stick stuff to it, they can peel off very easily. Plus, of course, I've got some isopropyl alcohol that I can use to clean everything up with, and that can always clean off the glass afterwards, which I will do. Oh, that was peeling too quick. I'll try from the other direction, see if I can pull up the base without having to scrape too much. No, it's torn too much now. Oh well, so let's take this off. Now there's also a gap under there, so I don't want to press too hard here or else I'll bend the inlay. In fact, it's a good idea to take the inlay out, because I might have to do that just for dirtiness sake anyway. So let's try and get this off. I don't know a lot of people on YouTube who are all about cleaning up disc-based games. Most of the collectors I have seen clean carts, or have like beautifully clean disc pickups. But I've not really seen people cleaning disc cases. And I always wonder why. I mean, there are loads of really cheap games to get out there. Some of them are, you know, they're from an era where people were really experimenting with 3D, but because of the PlayStation 1 and the N64 era, they'd already had, you know, they'd already had some good ideas, and they'd already had the like weird early years of experimentation. Now they actually had some idea of how to use the tools for like PS2 and Xbox, but they also were still willing to experiment. So that's got, I don't know if you can see, that's got the main bit off, but you can still see there's still sticky garbage stuck to it. So let's go over with, actually that's a bit small for this. This whole thing is going to need, let's actually tear this in half. It's a bit unwieldy. It's still going to be unwieldy in half, but I can fold it a few times. Right, so that's the alcohol. Right, if I fold it, it will give it a bit more rigidity while I'm rubbing. I don't know why. I don't quite understand how that extra rigidity works, because but it does seem to. Ooh. My sore fingers, the alcohol's getting in it. I wonder if a direct spray would help. Now, it does look like there is some dirt on the inside of this bit, so let's have a go at that, shall we? Is that on the inside? I think that might need a soaking. Yeah, it's not coming off so good. May even need some orange oil, the stuff that I think it's sometimes called Goo Gone or sticky stuff remover. Oh no, this is coming off. you don't want to leave any liquid inside, even if it's alcohol. If the plastic stops evaporating, you can still damage the ink of the insert before it dries. And that is, I think, as clean. No, it's still filthy over there. This is a dirty game. I wonder what kind of personal people would keep their games in such bad condition. I mean, maybe it was in someone's basement, or, you know, I wonder where this game lived to get so dirty. There's still quite a bit of sticky stuff here. But, well, like I said, I found before, you really do need to have it closed just to get enough rigidity. Like that is a lump of glue. Right. Is that glue or is that plastic? Right, that'll do. Right, let's have a look inside this. There's no water staining. Sometimes I've found that the inserts are nasty inside because someone spilled something on them. And CEX will still sell stuff with terrible water staining on it. I must point out, I didn't go to CEX to get these. I ordered them off the internet. I do not like paying the extra £2 for a game that in some cases is worth 50p. But sometimes you just want something to play, so it's probably worth it. Probably. I'm certainly doing it less than I used to when I could go to a CEX and browse and have a look. Right, so that is the main sticker gone. Now this again doesn't have any thing in there. This looks like it's got a nasty ring around the outside from where it's been polished. Now the underside again is fine, as good as I'm going to get it. But let's clean up the outside of the disc. I'm not sure how well it's showing up there. But basically it was a paste. It's the same paste they used to polish it, except somehow it's gotten onto the top side of the disc. You've got to be very careful removing this though, because if it's a paste that is grainy enough to remove the plastic when used as a polish, then it's definitely abrasive enough to remove the pattern on the top of the disc, so just need to be careful. Now it looks like it's still there, which might mean that some of this has already abraded, or it might mean that those are just scratches. Either way, I'm not going to mess with it anymore because I don't want to make it worse. Right, so let's get... Now this is already filthy, I'm not sure if you can see that, but it is. Let's get the other side to start with, to get as much of this off as possible. There's a section there that's a bit, well, that's really filthy. If I get the light directly on it, you can see where all the glue is stuck to it. And the alcohol really does help get rid of that. Can I get the light on it? The glue residue. But the last bits of stickers aren't going to go without a fight. So a bit more. This has actually been harder since January, because in about January, when the virus took off, the price of alcohol went, well, isopropanol cleaning fluid went up an awful lot, because obviously it's antibacterial, which, I mean, technically makes what I'm doing pretty helpful, because it means that these games will be properly disinfected. That's not the main reason I'm doing it. The main reason is because I don't want to have something in my collection that is filthy with goodness knows what germs from where. As far as I can tell, there's no specific direction or technique you need to clean the outside, because it's literally just plastic. And down the bottom here, no, not that light, about this one. I don't know if you can see it, there's more that glue residue. I'm hoping not to have to get the orange oil out. I don't know if you can see, but the ridges from around here are actually embossed in the back of the shape, and if you rub too deeply you will end up with ridges in the paper, so you've got to be quite careful about that, or take the paper out. Like that, I think, is as clean as Alter Echo is going to get. Again, this sounds like a good game, and the main reason I got Constantine was because I loved the film, but I've heard of this being good, as in I've heard good reviews for it, but I don't actually know what it is. People just said, "Oh, try it." Yeah, fair enough, I'll try it. Like this, lots of people and lots of reviews have said is good. So this is just, most of these are just, I've heard people say, "Oh, those are good, go try it." So I'm going to try it. Saying that, if anyone else in the comments has any suggestion about PS2 games they think I'd like, especially any that you consider like hidden gems, or not very well known games, because I've got most of the the top popular ones, the GTAs and Black, and I could look at my shelves, and well, you can look at my shelves. That's not the only shelf of PS2 games. It wraps all the way across, and there's some in the other room as well, because these are just the ones I'm not using. Oh no, I've now ruined that sticker because I was using alcohol and didn't realise it's on the top. So note for anyone else, if you see a sticker like that, that is on the top. Right, I'm going to take it off, because although it was an original sticker and I would have liked to have kept it, I've really ruined it now. And I think it looks worse with a smeary sticker on it than it would with no sticker on it. Plus, it's just an advert for the game to say, "Come buy our game." And, funnily enough, I already have. Second hand, no less. So I'm not giving the original creators their cut. Then again, I don't buy EA games anyway, so they can go jump off a cliff or whatever, because they seem to be very good at manipulating people, especially with FIFA, into, especially kids, with give us money so that you can have these players on your imaginary team. Well, no, stop manipulating kids. Then again, my government has just released a report that said we need to put a stop to this ASAP, so hopefully those kind of games won't be around in this country for much longer, or at least not in the same form of pay to win, using gambling mechanics to manipulate kids form. That's one of the things I like about old games like these. You don't get any of that stuff. It doesn't bother me that these are made by EA, because it was a game in its own right. There's no patches for it, and you can't give them any more money once you bought the original. I do wonder if there is any treatment for this lost label. Luckily, because DVDs have two separate layers, you obviously can't see, but there's a layer for the data and a layer for the label. You don't usually have as much trouble. If you've got a CD, the label is stuck to the back of the data, so if you scratch one, you've scratched both. Again, another RPG that I've heard many positive things about. The disc is in much better condition this time, although the edge again looks like it's been through the polisher and got some polishing compound still stuck to it. Now I don't want that going through my PS2. Either it could scratch the disc brake, which it's a PS2 Slim, so there's a brake to stop the disc from spinning when you open the lid, or it could just ruin the laser if it's thrown off at high speed, or any other part. I just don't want to risk anything happening. Right, this looks to be in good condition, so it's literally just the fact that the box is covered in marks and dirt that is the problem. Now this label already looks like it's not in great condition. Yeah, you can see the filth much easier if I take the label out. So let's you can also see where you would, if you press too hard, you would emboss the label for both of those things. Let's take this out for now because we don't want to damage it. Let's start with the CEX sticker. I don't know why they bothered. This isn't a price sticker. The price sticker is down there. That kind of makes sense, but the recycle advertising, what's the point? I'm not going to give you free games. If I was going to get rid of them, I'd sell it again. And as far as I can remember, I've never sold a game in my life. Let's use the clean side of this, because I think this is going to need a good going over. There's some plastic stuck to it, probably from one of those. Actually, no, it might be tape. It looks more like tape than it does from those sticky labels they used to keep games closed in the shop. Sometimes you get like these arc shapes that are sticky because they're part of this thing the store uses to determine if something's been opened. I believe, because they were having games, people would just open the box, nick the disc, close it again. Obviously that's an easy way to nick something without... Ooh, it's filthy under here as well. It's an easy way to nick something without getting caught, because all you have to get away with is the disc itself. You're not trying to steal the whole box. But the way they stopped that was to have a sticker that would show if the box has been opened. So if they spot anyone tampering with a box, then they can easily show to the security cameras or whatever else, look, they were tampering with the box and this box is now open. Seems good to me. Because the stickiness doesn't actually cause problems as far as I can tell. Right, let's get a new one of these. Those sticky bits are one of the easiest bits to peel off as far as I can tell. Let's hope the fumes aren't going to give me any problems. I'm in a fairly well ventilated area though. And if I start having any issues, I've got a mask behind me I can wear. Not just a medical mask, it's a, what's it called, the kind of mask you use when you're sanding or painting stuff. But that does not look terribly clean still. Let's see if we can, let's not use something dirty to clean stuff. Let's see if we can't polish it up a bit. And there's still some, let's apply directly, there's still some glues here. Again, I'm trying not to press on these bits because you can even just stretch out the plastic on the outside. And I might as well just grab another box off the shelf, one of the empties, one with, preferably with the holographic logo on it. But even without, right, so let's put this back. Is there any? Yeah, you can see on this one, if I get the light right, there's liquid staining just at the bottom, just along, I think I'd have to modify the camera, but it's just along this bit, there's liquid staining. It seems to be really common. Well, in second-hand games anyway. I mean, whether I bought them from CEX or from eBay, lots of games seem to have liquid staining. Don't know whether it's a common problem people have, or lots of house flooding and people selling games once the houses are flooded, or what. Right, let's have a look at Scalar. This looks in brilliant condition. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the manual, it's only got the Take 2 information, but the disc is in great condition, or really good condition at least. I basically don't need to wipe it down. I mean, I will, because I've got, you know, one side of that I can use, and there's still a sticker on it, which may leave residue. But it's probably the best condition of the games I've picked up so far. This does look fun. It's basically just a platformer of the PS2 era, so like Jack and Daxter or something along those, except much lesser known than, say, Jack and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank or any of those. So I'm hoping it turns out to be good, but we'll soon find out. Orphan Son of Sorcery is another one that is just a big RPG. I think it's an action RPG though, so I think it's supposed to be good. I've heard it's good, but I've never tried it, so it's worth a go. I mean, at these prices, I think I paid £11 for the entire pickup. So I mean, I paid more than that in shipping, if I remember correctly. Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Right, that's a shame. Someone has made the mistake that I was pointing out earlier, where you can accidentally press through the case too hard. Luckily, oh, that's good, comes with the manual. It's not in great condition, but sometimes I think these marks are like, give the thing, when they're not too bad, they give the thing like a well-worn, loved look. Ooh, this one even had a Game Station receipt. It's been previously sold for $7.99. Yeah, so, and it had a sticker in it. It's not got any personal details in it, has it? No, I don't think so. Oh, yes, it does. Whoops. I'll get rid of that. See what condition the disc is in. Yep, that's a disc. That's not badly scratched or anything. Let's take the label out. See what condition that's in. No water staining that I can see. However, we do have this back puncture mark caused by someone pressing too hard on the back there. If anyone has any ideas for fixing something like that, I mean, I imagine you could reinforce the inside with tape, but the outside, I don't know, maybe brown pen, but wouldn't that soak through? Brown pencil? Crayon? Watercolour? I have no idea. If anyone actually has a good idea to repair the tear colour, I would be really grateful. Let's move those out the way for now, peel off this sticker, and then try and get rid of some of this cack. I don't actually know how many spare boxes I've got left, and I don't think it's many. Mainly the spare boxes I get are when I buy a game for very cheap and the game is trashed and doesn't work. I would rather not have to send it back and pay postage of what, £3 or £4 for the 50p refund. I'd just keep the box, and in that instance the box is probably worth the 50p. I tend to keep the contents until I've actually decided I don't want it. There's no point bothering to take everything off until you're ready to dispose of it. Ew, that is gross. I mean, I know my nails are probably the best way of removing it, but I have no idea what it is. And it was sticky, so it's some kind of sticky filth. I have to wash my hands after this, even with all the alcohol probably killing any germs. I don't know if alcohol kills fungus, so that there's still a possibility it's something that I don't want to have all over my hands. Again, this section is a bit precarious because I could stove it in. If I could probably make a plastic insert to reinforce against these so that when I'm doing this, I don't end up pressing through. I wonder what the best thing to make it out of would be, because you don't want it too thick, because you wouldn't want to stretch the plastic at the ends left and right, but you would want it sturdy enough that you can press against it and it's not going to stretch. I mean, it's not going to stretch itself into there and then obviously just fail at its entire job. Like that, to me, looks a heck of a lot better. There's still bits that need attention. But it's good enough for now. There are, as ever, bits stuck to the back side. I think this type of, I guess, polythene or polyethylene or whatever it is, I think this type gets staticky very easily. It certainly gets scratched fairly easily. I don't know if you can see the scratch marks. So let's go over those and see how much of them are scratch marks and how much of them are just filth. Yeah, no, they're scratch marks. So let's reassemble this. I'm hoping this will be fun. It's based on Boba Fett, I believe. Or it might be Django. Hold on, it should say, you're Django Fett. Yes, okay, so it is Django Fett. I should have known his hat isn't green. I'm under the impression Boba wore a green hat and Django was the one that wore this sort of different colour. Then again, I played the Clone Troopers game, so it could have been any of those as well. I'm sure one of those wears a blue non-standard helmet. Anyway, that looks pretty good to me, as do the rest of these. They look a lot better than they did. We got quite a lot off, and this is only the one I haven't thrown away yet. So that was fun, and now they're all looking a lot shinier and better than they were. So I hope you enjoyed the journey. Thanks a lot for watching.